Never quite figured out why she introduces you first. Why is that?
Because she likes me better.
But she's
You
my
know that's
well, never mind.
And that's why she likes me better.
That's it's because she doesn't live with you all the time.
Correct. That we could turn around real fast.
Yeah, it really could. Hey, welcome to the Green Hornet Case Files, episode 16, season 2, episode 16. And I would be Greg.
And I will be painted into a corner as Kory.
Yes. What color are you using to paint yourself in the corner?
Puce.
Come on, man. It's supposed to be green. What are you doing here? What are you doing? You're busting my chops here, man.
Drop the ball.
Yeah.
Red puce paint.
Puce paint. That's just what you need. Hey, welcome to the Green Hornet Case Files podcast at greenhornet66.com, because I know you're going to want to comment on some silliness that we talk about here tonight. I've got a special guest that we're going to jump into here in just a little bit. I'm really excited to chat with. I don't know if you saw this news here recently, Kory, that did we talk about? Yeah, we talked about the stamps last time, didn't we?
We did. About the Bruce Lee stamps?
Yeah. I'm really excited about that. I haven't seen, whether they're coming out with any specific portfolios or, any. I just don't know. I told my wife, though, that I'm buying, $100 worth of stamps, which is what, like four stamps. And you still can't get it from here to Chicago within, about 3 weeks.
We're old radio guys. I started at radio in my teenage years, and we started at a local trade school. And when I was at my first summer of doing it, a buddy of mine was working in the print shop at that school.
Uh-huh.
And it was the year that they did the Elvis stamp.
Right.
So you could vote if you wanted slender, like rockabilly Ed Sullivan Elvis or Las Vegas fat Elvis.
Right.
So he just did a third one in the print shop, and he made a bunch of stickers that was just a skull with a pompadour.
Dead Elvis.
And I had that sticker on several guitars over the years, and I kind of wish I still had some of them.
Podcast at greenhornet66.com.
I'm a Beatles guy, man. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So am I. Hey, update from David Boop in regards to the new Detroit Noir City that is coming out. He says all edits are in. The arcs have been generated. Will be going to reviewers soon. He didn't ask if I wanted one. I'm a little ticked off here, David.
So welcome to my world, Greg.
Yeah. I don't like it here. Can I leave now? That means, he says, it goes on, says, that means digital rewards are right around the corner, and you might see those early as next week. Includes ebook versions of Green Hornet Cato Detroit Noir City could be in your inbox before Thanksgiving. Exciting.
Holy mackerel. I was not expecting that quick of a turnaround. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
I actually wasn't myself. So, and we had a couple of notes sent, some emails that came our way. We wound up getting, you remember we did the episode a couple of episodes back about that writer guy, Mr. Stryker.
Yeah,
You remember? Okay. I just want to make sure you were still with me there. We were discussing, as we were talking about it, the fact that we didn't have an awful lot of biographical information other than kind of what was online. And Robert Garrison wrote and said, hey, guys, this little book is pricey at about $75, but it's small, 150 page book about Fran Stryker.
Ooh.
Well, I went and did a little digging, and Fran's son, Fran Jr., wrote his Typewriter Grew Spurs, a biography of Fran Stryker, writer, documenting the Lone Ranger's ride on the radio waves of the world. And I actually found a link to a download copy because it's out of print now.
Oh, so you found an ebook copy of it?
I found an ebook copy of it, and it's a fascinating story, and we may have to revisit Mr. Stryker before we get done here.
Would we get in trouble for sharing that link?
I don't know, but I will
Okay.
check it out. I mean, it's out there in the world. I didn't go, rogue or anything,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll check into that and find out. And our buddy Todd Stutz wrote and says, Todd always, before I ask my question, I want to thank you for putting a smile on my face when you talked about the man and his young daughter had tried to smuggle the rotisserie chicken into the movie theater. We're still talking about that at the theater. Said he's never heard of such a thing, but he says you spoke about 2 Green Hornet movie serials from the 40s, and he's curious to find out if they have ever been digitally remastered. He has both of them on VHS, and he's been curious about this. And yes, they were remastered. I wrote back to Todd and said they were remastered like 3 years ago and released on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Something like that. And right after I bought them, before Mr. Zahn, delivered them, or the U.S. Postal Service, I don't know, without the Bruce Lee stamps, my Blu-ray player went, yeah. So I have actually not watched them.
We're going to have to rectify that.
Yeah.
I'll bring over a Blu-ray player. We can fix this.
We can fix this.
My dad's got an excellent set of tools. Get my Fast Times on.
Yeah, there you go. You want to bring our guest into the show?
Well, I think it's time. We are going to speak with one Miss Patricia Weakley. Hi,
Yes,
Patricia.
Hi, Patricia.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Really well. We're really excited for you to be here.
I'm excited to be here too.
We have talked back and forth a time or two in regards to Moonstone books. In fact, we just did a whole episode on Joe and the Moonstone book world, and that's the reason why you are here. Is you have spent some time between the covers.
That's a way to put it.
Of Moonstone books. I wasn't going to say she spent time behind Joe's covers.
This guy, man, I tell you.
Between the covers?
I'll workshop that just a little bit. Yes, between the covers. Moonstone books, the Green Hornet Still at Large, and the Green Hornet Chronicles, and a story that I love called Storm Weather. I want to talk about that here in just a little bit. But why brought you to the Green Hornet? Why are you, as one of the ladies of the Hornet, writing these awesome stories?
Well, I discovered the Green Hornet when I was about age 12 in 1966. And actually, I saw it was Van Williams on, I think it was the Mike Douglas show. And I started talking about it with my mom, who said, oh, yeah, I remember the Green Hornet from the days of the radio and the days she liked to shadow. So that got me interested in the TV series and also got me collecting tapes and stuff of the original radio series.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I had to shadow Michael Shane, the Green Hornet, and all those. And I had those actually, my first tapes were on a reel-to-reel because I didn't have a cassette player at that time.
We remember those days.
Yeah. And then I got some also tapes from Jim Harmon and part of his collection. And those were cassettes. But being 12, I saw Van Williams, and that was it. He was so gorgeous, so beautiful, gorgeous eyes. I've been stuck on him since.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, and I've actually told this story before, but we started. My wife and I had found copies of the show Surfside 6 that Van was on prior to, and he was actually on. Bourbon Street Beat? Mm-hmm. Played the exact same character that wound up on Surfside. And we were watching an episode, I remember, at one point, and our granddaughter happened to be here. And this was probably, she 15 now. So this is probably 3-4 years, five years ago, something like that. She's walking through the room as Van is standing on the set, in his Speedos or whatever it was with nothing else. And
Trunk.
she's like, who is that? So
I think he had one of the best bodies of that time. He actually had muscles.
Yeah. And as a guy, I think I'm salivating at this point. But yeah, what a great did you ever get a chance to meet Van?
Once at a convention was in Chicago, and he had like a talk, and I thought it was absolutely fascinating. And then they did the thing of the signing, and I was in line. I was practically shaking. I gave him a copy of my fan fiction, The Seeds of Destiny, which is on fanfiction.net. But I gave him a copy of it, and for him to keep, and for a photo opportunity. I took a picture, and I got like his upper shoulders, and I had about like a whole bunch of space above his head. And that's the only picture I managed to take because, like I said, I almost fainted. I was shaking so.
We're happy that you managed to at least get that.
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned the fanfiction.net, and I wanted to talk a little bit about this. You shared it with me here a while back, and I've just enjoyed the heck out of going through. I was not aware of fanfiction.net, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place. I don't know. Have you heard of this, Kory?
I'm aware of fan fiction, but no, I didn't know of a treasure trove of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fanfiction.net. And if you just go into that, and you can go into the search and write, Pat Weakley's name, and you'll wind up finding all of her incredible fiction. It's not all Green Hornet, but a lot of it is, right?
Yes, most of it's Green Hornet. I did one Green Hornet Star Trek crossover.
That was right up Greg's alley.
That's me.
Yeah, basically it was kind of like a thing of like piece of the action, or just doing full circle. That it's the TV Green Hornet with Star Trek. They get lost in the future, and they wind up in the Star Trek episode Piece of the Action.
I do, yes.
Yeah, well, the Green Hornet winds up getting integrated into that world.
Oh,
and
that's
he
a cool
winds
take.
up being like the radio Green Hornet.
Nice. I have not read that one yet, and I know what I'm reading tonight before I go to bed.
And that's the link we got to put in the show notes.
We absolutely will. So you've loved the Hornet since 1966, like all of us have. What was your first story? What drove you to write that first story besides just that love?
Basically, what was it, in the 90s or so? And they're coming out with the Frank Miller Batmans, where Batman was bitter and just, I don't like Frank Miller's artwork. It was ugly. And so I thought I would create my own world with the Green Hornet, where the hero did not become bitter and angry, and that he had wound up marrying Casey, and they had a family, and other words, that the hero got a reward. He got to live happily ever after. Then Cato's son shows up, finds out that Cato had died, been murdered, and so then Cato's son and Britt Reed bring back the Green Hornet.
That's such a great idea. I love that.
That is good. I could do a movie, couldn't?
Oddly enough.
Yeah. Fun ideas. And this is something that Kory and I have talked about a lot, and we've thrown it out to a lot of different people, is to, if they were to do a rebooted Green Hornet now, which, again, they've been discussing, Green Hornet Inc. has a deal with Amazia Entertainment and Universal, and maybe what would you like to see if you could be the writer of that? Where would you go with it?
What I do is would have like the original Green Hornet be the Green Hornet of the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid I would not go with now's generational thing, mainly because it's just too complicated. you know, so it would be, and then we've carried on with Britt Reed, his son taking the Green Hornet mantle. Of course, back in the day when I started writing, Van was maybe about in his 50s or 60s, so he could still have done it, but now he passed in his 80s, but we can push things forward a little bit.
There's always AI, right?
Yeah.
We could do it.
You can always do AI. But
Kory.
you could do that or move the Green Hornet, original Hornet into the 70s, which is a groovy time.
Those of us that lived through it, yes.
Yes.
I think that's the first time I've really heard anybody say trying to move it past the period. Like,
just past.
That's a cool concept. Like I would love like French Connection era Green Hornet.
I always thought
that'd be cool.
That was the problem with Green Hornet. It actually came on too late and too early. It was too late to catch the detective noir type shows, like Burke's Law and Dragnet and all that. But then they wound up being caught in the camp era, which is the Green Hornet is not camp at all.
Right.
And so they got caught up in that. And, if they'd been maybe a little later, they could have, a straight Green Hornet would have been more acceptable. But just at that time, people were expecting, Batman and camp and all this ridiculous stuff. And it wasn't the Green Hornet.
That era when late 7 or mid late 70s, I guess, the Magnum PIs, the Riptides, those kind of shows that came
Rockford Files.
Rockford Files, that was a unique time. And I think, Pat, you've got something there that would have been a really cool way of, Starsky and Hutch. Can you see Bruce sliding across the front of the Black Beauty like they used to in
just right over the hood,
just sliding right across the hood? I'm sure he probably would have.
I don't know why. It's just I've never thought of him in that. We always think the 40s era, the 60s era, a modern era, a future era, but there's like doing it as a period piece in the 70s or a period piece in the 80s would be such a wild concept. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah. You're on something there, Pat.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been thinking about these things for 50 years, 60 years.
We won't tell. One of the things I absolutely love, Joe at Moonstone has been doing these compendiums of different stories, and you've been involved with doing a lot of those. David has, Win Scott Eckert. So many of the different writers that have been contributing these stories. Green Hornet Chronicles, and I mentioned this on the beginning, was a story called Storm Weather, and I want to just read just a little first paragraph here, if you'll allow me for just a sec. Let me introduce myself. My name's Stormy Weather. Yeah, that's my real name. Sisters Sunny and brothers got Winter, so you can get the drift of what Mom and Pop had in mind. They got themselves in serious humor problem. If you ask me, I kind of wish, though, that they'd passed my name by. But after a while, things tend to stick, especially since I'm the first to admit that I do have a bit of a temper problem. And then it goes from there. And you've set up the character very nicely with somebody's got a temper.
Thank you.
And it goes on from there. Where did a character like Stormy Weather come from? Is that just another?
It was a little bit inspired by Honey West.
Okay.
Which was another short-lived series I loved. But Honey West, this lady detective, and I've been also, a lot of lady detectives are now coming out in fiction, which is nice. But Honey was one of the first, and so it's kind of a little bit with Honey West. Van Williams is from Texas, and so is my dad. from Texas. And some of her personality I stole from my daughter.
Okay.
Who's a real firecracker. So that's where I got this, girl that's, she's got an attitude.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely has an attitude. And it's so fun. We've talked about this before. It's so fun to be able to go in and, read some of these. Well, it's the only new Green Hornet we basically have, unless they come out with a comic book series of sort. And while I love comics, they can't go as deep as a short story or a mini novel of any sort like that. One of the things that I've always felt is that the Hornet was missing, and correct me on this, Kory, the bad guy.
The Rogues Gallery.
The Rogues Gallery. Thank you. That was the one that I was missing there. And have you ever thought, or have you written multiple stories with the same person?
I was planning on doing a second story with Stormy Weather, bringing her brother and her sister and stuff like that. About repeating bad guys, I guess my thing is we've been giving bad guys too much airtime, where it's all about the fight scenes, Bruce Lee's Kung Fu, and this mean bad guy always showing up. And it winds up being that the good guy is like a punching bag for the bad guy. Where the good guy, instead of being the hero and the star of whatever's going on, he's just, interchangeable hottie. And I kind of prefer to have the good guy as the primary focus of the story. And I also do is the thing with the Green Hornet is that a lot of people focus on the Green Hornet versus the bad guy of the week. But the Green Hornet, as both the Hornet and Britt Reed, was going after corruption. That if you listen to the opening of the radio series, the original radio series, that's what they talk about, is the Green Hornet going after those who the G-men can't even touch. And so it's about the Green Hornet kind of digging through corruption. Because I remember reading that George Trendle said the Lone Ranger was for kids. The Green Hornet was for young people of voting age to, teach them about corruption, that they had corruption in the 30s and 40s like we do now. And so that was the Green Hornet's main focus, was fighting corruption no matter who it was, judges, senators, fighting, the big bad guys. I guess the closest now would be like a Kingpin. That would be, the Kingpin would be the Green Hornets, or the Green Hornets, Britt Reed's meet. That's the kind of big bad he would have, not some kind of, guy with, armor of, mechanized armor or anything like that, but it's like the mind, which is hard for people, I think, to do, but it just is it's like almost like I've seen some of the new Daredevils, and it seems like every time he's getting his butt beat, the Daredevil, and I'd say, no, the good guy should win, he shouldn't be beat up all the time. That's what I liked with Daredevil when they was with She-Hulk. That was cute.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's funny you bring up the corruption aspect of it, because I honestly think in all the episodes we've done, it's the first time it's really been brought up as a topic of the mainstay. And it does, at the end of the day, could make for the lack of a rogues gallery is having this ethereal, and it's ongoing. As long as there are humans trying to rule other things, that's going to be a thing. And that's such a brilliant way to keep the Hornet relevant that I appreciate your take on that a whole lot, because that's really a sweet way of looking at it that, again, could keep him in the now.
Yeah,
we're watching it all over the place.
Yeah, that the Green Hornet is not one of his, he's a chess player. And that's why the Black Beauty looks like the way it does. It's not meant to be seen a lot. It's supposed to be like a mobsters, like the Godfather or whatever, and his big, black, dangerous car. That it isn't shiny, green hornets all over and all that. It's subtle, but it's very intimidating. And with Kato is his muscle. That Kato's the silent shadow. Like it's shown in a few things in the series where the Green Hornet just nods at Kato and Kato does his thing. And that's the whole thing that's kind of like in, what do you call it, in public, they're not people, the public doesn't know they're best buddies. It's just the Green Hornet and his very dangerous aide. So he's on the level of, like the Godfather or any of these upper level gangsters, not some punk, but the upper level guys.
So we need to get that Guido to come in and do some whacking on people, right? You know what I'm saying here? One of the things always bothered me about, sorry.
You're good.
I just had to,
To tell you one thing, you brought up Guido. For a while there, I was dating a guy named Guido, and he'd tell me that he was a gangster. And he even was wall-eyed he said that a bullet hit a wall near him and damaged his eyes. So he was a Las Vegas gangster.
Well, there you go. See, I was on target anyway.
Nailed it.
What always bothered me about mainly Batman, but Superman and most of the others, is the rogues gallery, because was Arkham Prison like the worst prison in the world because they're always getting out? And, we just put the Joker behind bars and it's next episode and wait, he's out again? So,
had it locked in the back door.
Yeah. So that always did bother me just a little bit. And I did like the fact that, the Green Hornet was going after the actual corruption. He was going for the actual ringleaders. And those were always the people in the shadow that you didn't see. And there was always the Guidos, that you had to get through to get to the big boss, to coin a phrase for Bruce Lee there. So where do you go from here now? I mean, you've just said that you have an idea for a follow-up Stormy Weather. Do we need to lobby Joe about doing another book yet? And
it would be good. I would enjoy writing another story. I haven't been writing much lately. Life has interfered. But I would like to do is more stories, maybe with Stormy and stuff. And, kind of that crazy, other words, it's personality driven, character driven.
I love it. There's nothing like a good story. What's the old saying? Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Exactly. Or you just get
I say that every day.
enough to the truth so it makes it more realistic. So you think, well, it could happen. Or maybe it happened, but that kind of stuff.
Well, I like the idea of making it so that it could very well happen. There were a lot of times and okay, I loved the Batman TV series. I loved Adam West. Adam. Yeah, that was a whole time, and we loved those shows. But none of that stuff would ever happen. I mean, it's.
And see, I personally did not like the Batman TV series.
Really?
But that's
okay.
Because I read a lot of the older comics. I went to a neighborhood bookstore and I would buy my comics. There are older comics, for 5 cents a piece. And so, like I love Catwoman and, that kind of the older stories where, Batman was smart and it was they brought out science and things like that. So when he came out with the camp, I said, this is not the Batman I know.
Yeah. It was not the Batman that most of us actually grew up with. But, and there's days you can't get rid of a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to ask everybody, what was your opinion of the Seth Rogen movie? I saw your face there.
Boy, I wish you could see the video on this one, folks.
Well, my main thing is, and this is what I also have seen, like in was it the they had the Green Batman 66 series.
Mm-hmm.
Was done by not Dark Horse. It was
Dynamite.
It was Dynamite. Is the idea that Britt Reed is stupid, that he is incapable of self-control, and that Kato is the brains of the outfit. In fact, in the Dynamite one, even had where Kato was very disrespectful to Britt, and I don't see that. Basically, they're comrades in arms. They fight together. That actually, Kato has a lot of respect for Britt Reed. He like that. You've seen sometimes in the TV series where Kato likes watching the Green Hornet kind of play his head games. He likes watching it. Green Hornet loves watching Kato knock down walls and stuff. That's the coolest thing. And he loves seeing how the bad guys react to Kato's actions. And by the same thing, Kato likes watching, the Green Hornet just mess with these people's heads. Said, it's like in Praying Mantis, where the Green Hornet was talking to, I forget the bad guy, it was with Lo Sing and the white bad guy. And the Green Hornet was just shredding those two bad guys and really dividing them. And, that kind of stuff. So he was setting Lo Sing up, making him mad so that, and then Kato kind of went in and finished him. But it was that thing of getting these two bad guys to divide, point out the racism and just let it go.
Playing those mind games together. Yeah. To quote John Lennon there. It's a fascinating world, and I think all of us have to say thanks, Pat, for your part in giving us additional stories that we're always craving, out here. And a lot of us, I know, have our own ideas about stories and things we would like to see. Most of us aren't skilled enough writers to be able to sit down and put those words on a piece of paper and make them make sense. I would urge everybody at this point to go check out fanfiction.net. You can go into, again, the search engine and type in Pat Weakley, and you will find, what do you have, 25 or 30 of them on there? Is there that many?
I don't know if it's that many, but I got is my big trilogy, which was the whole thing of moving from the original Green Hornet of the 60s to his son taking over. So it's like a trilogy. And then I got some other smaller stories.
So if you're looking for some good additional fodder for your Green Hornet fix, you can check that out. And of course, are you in 2 or 3 of the Moonstone books?
I'm in 2 of the 3.
It's the Green Hornet Still Large and Green Hornet Chronicles.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Pat?
Excellent weekend reading. Get out there, people.
Great.
I think so. Yeah, it's supposed to be raining here, I think, all weekend. So I'm going to have a teapot going and sit down and reread a whole bunch of material here this
I'm going to
weekend.
do the exact same thing. Patricia, Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to hear the stories behind the stories. And again, thanks so much for spending time with us, and we'll look for some more stories. All right.
Yes. Sounds great.
All right. Love to have you let us know what you think. And we mentioned it at the beginning, podcast at Green Hornet 60.
Also, don't forget Ko-fi / Green Hornet Case Files.
That's it. I still don't know if it's coffee or Ko-fi. I don't know. Let's call somebody, shall we?
I know it's a bit. We've got to stick with it. It's either coffee or Ko-fi. It's Kofi.
It's a bit. You've got to keep going with it.
It's been 2 years. We can't stop now.
All right. All right. What Kory said. Okay.
Yeah.
And check out greenhornet66.com. Love to have you drop on by and check things out. I haven't been in my Green Hornet costume for quite a while. I may have to do that this weekend just because.
With your kettle on?
Yeah. I may have to go out to
drinking
coffee.
Tea and reading books in full cosplay.
I may have to just go, I'm normally out doing Ghostbuster stuff, with kids programs and so forth, but maybe I'll show up in Green Hornet and screw with them just a little bit.
There you go. I'll put the mask on. Fat Kato will show up too.
Fat Kato will show up. I love it. All right, folks. Appreciate your time spending with us. As always, we have another special treat for you coming up in another couple of weeks, and we're excited about that as well. And again, thanks to Pat for spending some time with us talking about those stories. And I think it's about that time, my friend.
This is where I say, hi-ho, Silver, away.
That's right, exactly.